Hello, my name is Mark Anthony Dubose Jr. and I was born July 4th of 1986. I'm going to say thank you for tuning in to try to figure out some more about some issues that are going on with your dog. And I just want to make a disclaimer up front. I think I'm going to have to add this in a text form on every one of my videos just to make things very, very clear. So you can pause it and I'm just going to say it once right here. I don't know it all. I don't know everything. I know dogs in a certain way and I've got experience with working with dogs, and it's in my opinion, a forever learning understanding on how to get better and better and better. That I just am never gonna admit to this saying that I know everything and I got all right. And I'm just gonna straight up say that more than likely what I talk about has nothing to do with you. But I've just been around a little bit, I guess I could say. I'm not 100 years old. I'm not even 50 years old at this point, but I'm approaching that 40. And it's put me in a different way of viewing and being on this planet to just understand some things, just the human interactions that I've had. And a lot of this stuff that we have issues with their dogs, as I'm going to say, it really does come down to a lot of, we also have problems with human interactions. And something I want to talk about today is the concept of what I've come to see and have the understanding of what is the separation anxiety in dogs. I think that term personally is very misused. It's not used the correct way with what exactly is going on. But I just want to say something about an experience that I've had, and something that I'm going to say is, I don't do a lot that I learned in a dog training school, but as far as this concept of this term separation anxiety, I do 100% every single time I run into a situation that I see with what I'm about to talk about right now. And I had this sweet Great Pyrenees, my first dog, or not my first dog, but my first Great Pyrenees I had on the property to watch over my goats. She was supposed to be with the goats. And she was just the sweetest. She was just the cutest. She was just so fun. She was so just chill. She was just a hugger. She just wanted pets all day. She was just the coolest dog ever. The neatest dog. So what was I doing? I was petting her all day. I was around her all day. I'd be out here working and she'd be with me. I'm like, oh baby, sweet Rose, sweet Rose, sweet Rose. You're just the best. You're the best. Anybody that would come over, she just flocked everyone to her. This big, huge, white, fluffy, super calm, super chill, super patient looking dog. That was just so lovable. And everyone is just like, oh, she's so amazing and so awesome. And I was spending so much time with this dog. And in a moment of raising this puppy up, I wasn't realizing what I was doing. I was just raising a dog. I thought I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. And time after time, I started noticing she's not staying with the goats. She's supposed to stay with the goats. And I would come outside and she's sitting right underneath a little patio thing here, just kind of waiting on me the whole time. And then after a while, I noticed she's not only just waiting on me, like she's now at the front gate. When I would leave, and at this time, I was pretty much primarily home like 99% of the time. I rarely went anywhere for more than like 2 or 3 or 4 hours. It was very rare. So the first basically 3 years of her life, I was always there. She always saw me. I was always giving her pets. I was always praising her. I was always giving her extra little pieces of chicken. I was just always there. And then something happened that I had to be gone because I started going to the dog training school, and that required a significant amount of time on me. That I was gone for 12, sometimes 14 hours, sometimes even a 16-hour day. I was gone doing what I was doing, and I would be gone the whole time, never came back, and I would come back. And I was noticing day after day, things were getting really, really, really rocky with this dog. With my border collie, he was all right because he understood the boundaries of I stay on the porch, I don't get off the porch. He never tried to jump fences, he never tried to dig, he just stayed there. But in reality, he had what I'm going to say, the same issues going on. That this dog was no longer waiting for me at the porch. She was waiting for me at the front gate. This dog was no longer waiting for me at the front gate. She was now walking down the street trying to find me. Because all of my neighbors would call me, hey Mark, just checking, don't know if it's yours or not, but there's a big white dog, Pyrenees, just walking down the road. And in my understanding, she's trying to figure out how to get closer and closer and closer. She was always headed the same direction that I went to go to this school. And she was on a mission to, in reality, my only way I can say it is find me. Because I would come home and she would be in this just, oh my goodness, the best of the best, the world, the most amazing. And she was just so hard to like calm down from that initial, I've been gone for 12 hours and I got home and she was just, when everyone saw this dog as being patient and calm and chill and cool, this dog was on 10 for her excitement level. She would be running circles, going zoomies, going wild, just insane. And in reality, I thought it was cute. I was like, my dog missed me. I really, really liked my dog. My dog was just missing me so much that this is how she looks when I got home. Not realizing, sometimes bad things are gonna happen in your life for you to learn some lessons. And I wanna explain my bad things that happened in my life to hopefully someone else doesn't run into the same situation. Every day, it was getting worse and worse. Every day, I would come home and she wasn't no longer on the inside of the fence, but just standing on the side of the road, I don't have curbs here, but on the, I guess the easement side, the shoulder side, and just literally sitting a foot from the road where cars are going 60 miles an hour, just sitting there waiting. And then days kept going that she was no longer there, that she was gone. And then in reality, I would be nervous, like, oh my goodness, my dog's gone. I'm searching the whole property. Where's my dog? And then later on at night, I'd be like, oh, there she is. She's right back under the patio. So I have no idea where she went. I had no idea what's going on. And someone would say to me, well, Mark, it's a great Pyrenees. They roam. They like to be out and go places and do things. But my dog never did that when I was home. She always stayed everywhere I was, literally a half a foot away from me. All of the time. I'm sleeping, she's literally a half a foot from my door where I'm sleeping, my bedroom, sleeping right there. Everywhere, everything. She had zero care, zero desire to look at any animals. She had zero care of caring about another dog. She was just all about me. All she cared about was me. So I'm like, it's not a roaming issue that I'm going on. Because if it was a roaming issue, she would just always be gone. And this is the part where things started getting a little dangerous. Because I would call home, she's not there. And then I got a phone call in the middle of school one day. And I'm saying, and the guy is just calling me, super sad, super hurt, super just, I had to coach him through it. That I hit your dog, man. And this is a big dog. This is like 120, 130. She was a big one. She was a really big one. She was the same with my shadow man. I don't know what my Great Pyrenees are big. These big dogs, this is a big dog. And someone hit my dog. And my dog died that day. And I'm in school taking this phone call, and I had things I had to do and make stuff happen. And I said, just put her, he's like, I already put her on the side of the road. My neighbor called me. He's like, dude, it's your tag. I see your name on it. This is your dog. And as it was getting worse and worse, when I was like, oh, my dog really, really likes me, I realized she was so stressed out. She was so anxious. She was so she couldn't be more than an hour by herself. Because I was doing things in this process, because I was asking questions at school at this time. I was asking questions. My dog is doing this. What you recommend me do? Oh, I recommend you put her in a fenced-in area. So I put her in a fenced-in area. A smaller fenced-in area. Instead of giving her the whole property, which she never left, but if I left for long, then she was gone. So I put her in what I'm going to say is a dog-proof fenced-in area. It's got a 5-foot fence. It's the woven wires, and she can't get through it. You know what she started doing? Digging under. And then what did she start doing? I was like, okay, I got to put her in a smaller area. So I tried to put her inside of a crate. Even with me being on property, I put her in a crate. I put her in a crate. What do you think happened? She broke out of that crate, and she would go sit right back at that front patio, just like waiting on me, like, I see you, man, I'm here for you. And I was like, okay, next step, let's make it a little more extreme. So I started using my electric fencing wires around. So I put her in an area that had an electric fencing. So if she tried to get out, she's 100% getting hit by this. And I got a powerful one out here. This thing, it hurts, man, it hurts. And she took the shock, digging her way through with this much passion, this much force, just to go right back to the patio, coming at me dirty, muddy, just beat up, destroyed. She will go to death to try to get to me. And that's the ultimate thing that ended up happening to her. She went to death to try to get to me. And I wasn't paying attention to me being wrong with her. So at that moment, on that day, was a day in the dog training school that we finally started going through separation anxiety training and talking about it and giving some tips and tricks. And there's just one tip that works with not only me and my dogs, because that's the same thing that this dog had. That's why he was always breaking out of kennels, always breaking out of crates, because he had to be there. He couldn't just be by himself. And there's the one trick and one tip that they said that I used this, I implemented this instantly when I came home with my border collie, because I was like, I lost one. I can't lose another one right now, because he was the same way, looking wild, because he's never, ever been away from me the same way. And actually, he's closer to me than she even was. He was always with me, basically 24/7. So when I would come home, I would see him in this extreme rage. This dude would be doing circles, just flipping. I was like, oh, he really likes me. He really likes me. And the one thing that I'm going to say is, if your dog, you leave your dog for who cares how long it is, you leave your dog, or get down. And when you get back to your dog, and your dog is in this excessive, just like crazy, like, oh my goodness, just, going wild, or get down, going absolutely wild, just psycho looking, man. They are crazy, and you're like, oh, they missed me. I'm telling you, they don't miss you. They don't miss you in a healthy way. They miss you in a very, very, very bad, just not great way. Because the entire time you were gone, they were in that stance. They were stressed, they were pacing, they were going there, where they at, where they at, where they at? And then when you finally get there, they just have this explosion. And that's making the dog be on edge every minute that you're gone. So what I'm gonna say is right here, how do you fix this? Because I've helped many people fix this. And I'm gonna say right now, there's a common theme behind everything I'm talking about right now. And that common theme is do nothing. Stop giving your dog treats. Stop giving your dog praise. Stop petting your dog. Stop even interacting with your dog. Not forever, but for a little bit. And I'll go into further detail here in the next few videos of when it's ready to start going back to petting my dog and holding my dog and doing stuff with my dog. But if you're having issues with your dog right now that you can't just verbally tell them to do something, stop doing this stuff for a little bit. Stop it. Stop it. And one thing that I'll say is, if you got faith, you'll know the day that it's okay to start touching them again. But I'll give you some tips and tricks of what to look for. But the one thing that I'm going to say to help you with being able to overcome this problem with your dog being obsessive, breaking out of crates, breaking out of the house, chewing up everything in the house when you're gone, and just doing all this crazy stuff. When you come home, this is going to be the hardest thing probably yet that I'm going to say to do. It's simple, but the hardest thing as a human being to do. When I'm going to tell you to go home and ignore the dog 100% completely. Shut them in a door, shut them in a room, get them away from you. Do not interact with the dog at all. But I'm going to say your fastest way to be able to get this to get better is to have the dog around you and have it be jumping and doing and give it zero energy. Ignore the dog. Just look the other way. So one thing that I say to do is always have a game plan when you get home of this. You're going to do this. So go do some dishes, go do some laundry, go put something away, go build something, go do something and do something. And the best thing to do is give it some time until the dog calms down. Once the dog calms down, you again, don't just, oh, look how you do. No, you come to that dog and just say, hey, good boy, good girl. You're looking good right now. I like what I'm seeing right now. And that dog is going to get out of its brain of, Oreo, I know I'd be talking crazy today, but get down. You need to explain to that dog that whole excitement thing needs to go away. And your dog, when you come home, I'm going to tell you when it's ready that your dog is going to, you don't need to worry anymore. You don't need to completely ignore him. You could come home and just say, hey, how's it going? When your dog looks like that when you come home. When you come home from more than 30 minutes, 4 hours, 18 hours, and you come home, I don't care if it's 50 weeks, you come home, your dog should look like that before you interact with them. And day after day after day after day after day, your dog is going to stop being so excitable and it's going to just look at you and be like, oh, you're home. Hi. And then it's going to walk up to you like nothing's wrong. And when I see the brain shifts from the dog of, I don't need to wait on this person. I could just, they'll be here. It's okay. I don't have anything to worry about. But when you come home, and the same thing when you leave home, don't leave home and be like, oh, I'm leaving, and doing all this stuff to the dog. You're getting the dog like super, super jazzed up. Just completely ignore the dog before you leave. Do your basic stuff. The dogs know when you're leaving. They got the keys, they got the shoes, they got the coat, they got the this, and your dog is just jumping up on the hound and all on you. Ignore them, man. Allow them to just see that you don't give them anything and just leave and don't even say goodbye. Shut the door and be gone. And don't even think about it. I'll be back later. And when you get back later, do nothing, absolutely nothing. Don't touch them. Don't anything. If they're jumping on you, just do the circle game. I don't know why, but that actually does work pretty good. But do whatever you have to not interact with that dog at all. And once you get to that point that dog is finally calm, that's the time that I could walk up to that dog with just my calmness, and I look at that dog calmly and say, hey, good boy, good girl, how are you doing? How was today? You come to them calmly. Do not come to them in an excitable stance. And that's going to be, I'm saying this is easy. It's easy. But it's hard for a human being to come home and just ignore the dog, knowing that, especially if you've been doing this for 50 years. Some of y'all have had dogs that you never had an issue, but now all of a sudden you have this dog that is just, it's crazy without you. It can't function without you. And it just is what it is. And I don't know what it is, but it's just what comes to us. And it's just stuff that we just have to deal with. Stuff that we just have no choice but to figure out how to be able to overcome. And a lot of this I'm going to say is, it comes down to just some simple human being things that we just have to be more conscious of. And understanding that, I know you want to, because the thing is, what we're doing to these dogs is we're treating them like they're robots. We're not treating them like they're living beings in any sort of way. We're treating them like it's a dog, and all dogs are like this, and I can do whatever I want to my dog. I can talk to my dog how I want. My dog is going to be able to function and be how I want my dog to be. And that's not what they are. And they've never been that way. But for some reason nowadays, we're running into situations that, I mean, we got companies out here that are selling these thousands of dollars of crates to figure out how to get your dog to calm. And it's not calming your dog down. It's just calming your dog down inside of that crate because it knows it can't get out. But once it gets out of that crate, it still has that excessive craziness to it. because we're having all this energy in. We're just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, just going crazy when we see the dogs, especially when you're leaving the dogs. You got to stop doing that. You got to stop doing it. Stop doing it. And I'm telling you, I've seen it, my own self in my own life, with how my dogs were and how my dogs were a hot mess because of just simple things that I was doing. And then I've heard it, many of the stories now, trying to help people. The dogs are chewing up the whole place. The dogs are chewing up all the door stands. The dogs are just flipping out and going crazy. The dog, I can't go anywhere without my dog because my dog is just wild. My dog starts chewing on itself when I'm gone for too long. My dog starts just spinning circles all day long. These issues with these dogs, that these dogs are in this excitable state because they're waiting on you, because of the habits that we've put into the dogs to think that they can't survive without us. And we need to let them know, just because I'm here, you don't need me, man. That's one thing that I truly get dogs to understand is you are a strong being. You do not need anybody. You can be fine by yourself. Now the added bonus of somebody, now we're going to really upgrade life. We can have a really good time. But you do not need me to just be there and hold you and be with you all the time. And that's something that comes into, again, with us as humans. I can correlate a lot of this together with a lot of things that we as humans, we run into those same problems that we need. We can't be by ourselves. And a lot of us that we need can't be by ourselves. Those are we are the ones that have the dogs that are crazy. Because that was the case that I was in years ago when I was doing this. This is what, 6 years ago now, when I was running into this. I was running into separations and being out here by myself and feeling alone and feeling lonely and not sure what to do and not know what's going on. So I saw this cute, beautiful, big, huge, sweet, loving dog. And you're awesome, girl. Come here. You're with me. I'm with you. And I never taught her how to be by herself. In the same way I never taught my own self that I could do that same thing, that I don't need this and I don't need that. I could just be me. I could do me. I could just hang out and just go to dinner by myself. I could just go for a walk by myself. I can go watch I don't do the movies things, but I don't know what else to do. All I do is go for walks and go for dinner. It's just by myself. I can just do that alone. I can come out here and build a new chicken coop by myself. I can just do everything. I don't need someone to be there with me to do that. And a lot of us are running into that stance that we need. And when you need that dog, we're messing the dogs up. Because the dogs can't handle, a human being can't handle that either, folks. But a dog for sure can't handle that. That's why they're so the words I want to use there is crazy, man. They get crazy. They get psychotic looking. They're loopy, man. 1 minute they're calm, and then all of a sudden 2 seconds later, it's like, oh my goodness. And that's unfortunately how my border collie is, because I was raising him in that stance of myself. 1 minute I'm like, let's go. And the next minute I'm like, oh my goodness, life sucks. And he was going through that loop. So when he sees me get all energized, he's like, oh, what are we doing? So it's something that we're going to constantly keep working on if that's what we've put into the dog. And after him, he was like, almost 4 years old by this point, when I'm telling him, no, he was 3 years old. 3 years old, so I already had him for 3 years doing this mess, and I had to come in and try to change that. And it's going to take years to get him to get out of it. Because I can say the same with my own self. I didn't just wake up one day and I'm good to go, I'm fine. No, it took a lot of time, a lot of just trial and error to be able to get myself to be able to get better. And that's where I've just come to see that a lot of this separation anxiety issues are happening with dogs. That it's in reality, it's an eternal issue that we have ourselves as a human. Because people that are totally secure, because I watch this stuff, people. I watch this stuff. I study not dogs only, but I study human beings. And studying human beings is all of my life is my research that I've been doing. Reading all of these books and studying and doing my own surveys and just seeing what's going on. But I'm telling you, I can go into someone's house and I can see that I get a phone call. And my dog has separation anxiety. It's chewing up the house when I'm gone for more than 15 minutes and I don't know what's going on. And I come see you, and you're the same way. You're on this. I gotta be. I see this over and over and over again, and it's like I know I get it. I was the same way. I was in it, and that's why I'm trying to figure out myself how to get out, doing all this research, because I was struggling as a human being, and then my dogs were all, unfortunately just taking the worse off stick at the end, because I was just putting all of me onto them, and it was just making things worse and worse. And I just see this over and over. When I know someone that's just a super independent person, someone that just is fine, they can hang out by themselves or chill by themselves, they got really nice dogs. They got dogs that are super independent, super chill, super calm, super hanging out. They just do. It just is. And I don't know why, but it's just what it is. And that's where, for me, I've noticed a change, the transformation of a lot of my dogs. My new dogs I get today, they're super chill. They're super calm. I don't need to worry when I'm not there. They're hanging out. I come see them. I can see Ophi sitting right there. She's just hanging out. She's just looking at me like, hey, how's it going? This is how this dog look. I could be gone all day as I was today. And I come home, and he's just sitting there looking at me. He's looking just like this. He's like, oh, hey, how's it going? But it wasn't like that at the beginning. I had to work on me. I had to work on. And that's what I'm gonna say is a lot of this stuff with a lot of these dogs and a lot of the, I'm gonna say the worst problems that we have with these dogs is stuff that we need to have a self-reflection on our own selves to see like, what do I need to do to fix this? Because if I don't fix me, I'm not gonna fix that. And that's, to me, it's just something that is just, I know everyone doesn't approve of what I believe in on this planet, but in reality, the more and more I just keep on speaking, the more and more I just see it as people are not going to have a choice but to just understand that there's something greater going on here. There's something more going on here. There's something that is just trying to get you to be able to get into a better place and to be able to do more and be able to have more and be able to calm yourself down and be able to chill yourself out. Because it's one thing that I just know I see today is people are just so on edge, man, so on edge. Just oh my God, with this and with that, and how about this and how about that, and what about this and where about that? And the dogs are just feeding off of that. And then that's why we're having chaos with our dogs, because they're feeding off of that. And I'm telling you, I've been all a part of in this. And I've been able to see and watch videos of myself being in that, seeing what I was doing, watching pictures and watching my life and seeing how it was compared to the things that I do today. And to me personally, I know the fast track way of being able to find that calmness and find that peace and find that patience and find that relaxation, to find just the main word I want to say is how to calm down, how to be able to see some crazy stuff go on outside and just like, okay, you know, it's going on. And at the end of the day, what can I do about it? And at the end of the day, is it for me to even like fix? Or is that something out there that is just what it is? And I just need to worry about fixing me. Because if I fix me, then all that stuff isn't going to be broken anymore in reality. It's going to start to get fixed. And that's something that I want more and more people to just really start to think about. Because there are certain things with these dogs that are absolutely fantastic. Because they're doing what we're telling them to do. And if we're telling them to do something that we don't like, then we need to look inside. We need to look inside and see what is it that we're saying and what is it that we're doing. And the one thing I'm going to say is a lot of what I talk about is so simple, but it's hard for us as humans to be able to actually put the stuff into play. It's very, very hard, very hard, very hard. But it's crazy easy. Because you would say to me, well, why the heck did I get the dog if I can't pet it? If I can't give him treats? If I can't snuggle with him? If I can't this, I can't this, I can't this, I can't this. Why do I have the dog? You have the dog to be able to do all of that, but you have the wrong relationship. Hey, Johnny, get down. You have hey, Shadow, we good, all done. We have the relationship wrong. Once we get that relationship right and we figure out what's going on here, then we're going to be able to do all that you want to do. Anything you can make happen. It's just, it's a matter of really, really looking more into what's going on with you today. What's happening? Because that's what's going to fix all this stuff. I mean, as simple as could be is how this dog is. He get up, he about to go run, but he knows that one simple rule. You're not chasing nothing right now. And that's my put him in it down. And one thing that I do want to say is, don't do what I do. Do what you got to do. And because that's why I don't want to put on a show or show off or do any of that. Because I don't want you to see what I'm doing. I want you to listen to what I'm saying so that you can do what you want to do and you need to do. So that you can find the understand and find the help that you need. You're not going to find it in reality, just what I've come to see with working with dogs. You're not going to find it on the outside. It's you hearing something that's going to be able to allow you to change what's going on so that you could just start implementing little different things throughout your day each day. So when I say do nothing with your dog, that's a cue that I want to just say out loud right now is do nothing with yourself for a little bit, because you're probably doing too much. And you're scrambling, you're all over the place, and I gotta go here, I gotta go here, and in reality, you don't need to do any of that. If you could just chill, literally, it's hard at first. Stuff ain't easy. To just sit down for 10 minutes even, and just have no phone, no TV, no internet, no book, no nothing, but just sit down and do nothing. Hey, Johnny, get down. Just sit down and do absolutely nothing. And you're gonna watch how day by day, you're gonna start to get better and better and better. And everything else around you is gonna get better. But when you're just, I gotta this, 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 you're not getting anywhere. And the dogs are showing you that. Because that's why the dogs are pushing you around and they're bullying you around and they're telling you when it's time to eat or telling you what to do or they're telling you how to do everything. because you got the wrong situation happening here. You're doing too much. Slow down. Stop. Just relax and super relax. Because what I need to start talking about now is what I've been relaxing, Mark, but what do I do now? Where do I go now? Because my dogs, things seem to be looking good. And there's going to be a little test that I've just come to just play with myself. This is why one thing I want to say is don't really watch too much of what I do with my dogs, because I'm always constantly testing and challenging new stuff out. Just seeing some things, seeing what's going to happen from it, see what's going to come from it. So I don't want you to get put into a test situation with you're not seeing any results because I haven't, say, confirmed it yet. I have the availability to do that, and I'm going to do that. When someone says this is the only method, I don't know why my brain is just like, well, how about this? And how about that? And how about that over there? And how about that way back there? And it just forces me to have to do that. And I go into it, and I'm like, yeah, actually, it wasn't working. Oh, that wasn't working. And then I just start going all around just to see. That's why, that's the beautiful thing. Don't believe that I'm the way, I'm the answer. No, I have ideas that can get you on the way, but it's for us individually to find our own way. No one can force it on you. No one can say that this is just what it is. You got to find that for yourself. And at the same time, you got to be comfortable with it. A lot of people are not comfortable with the way that I handle my dogs. And to me, I'm different with how I view dogs. They're dogs to me. They're not a human child. They're not I don't love my dogs the way that I would say I respect them. I care for them. I'm not like in love with my dogs because I personally, I'm going to say straight up, I don't believe that they understand that concept. They don't know what the heck love is. They don't know that term. That's us as humans projecting that onto them. So I'm going to treat my dogs very differently than, in reality, most people, because I look at them as the unfortunate words, I'm going to be straight up and say what they could do for me, not what I'm going to do for it. But these dogs do stuff for me. This Border Collie does some serious work for me. This Johnny Man, he does some work for me. My Dalmatian, my German Shepherd, my Great Pyrenees, who's doing phenomenal work for me. They do really, really good work for me. And that's what I have my dogs for. Not to just hug and snuggle and play with, because I ran into situations doing that. I ran into problems on needing the dog and needing to love the dog and needing the dog to love me. And I started running into what's going on with me. What's happening with me? And I started to realize that dogs cannot fulfill that I need to figure that out. And that's something that, again, I don't do everything that you see that I do. I don't even talk about, most cases, stuff that I do. Like if someone was trying to ask me, how the heck do you get your Great Pyrenees to stop barking on command like that? Don't do what I did. Because the way that I did it, for one, you're probably not going to keep up with it. But every time he's barking, I'm out here telling him to stop doing it. Every single time. And it's some days it's 30, 40 times. Don't do that if you're not ready to do that, because you got to follow through for years. He's passing 3 years old now. 3 years I've been out here at least 100 times a day telling him, you got 2 barks out, man, we're good. Especially if it's a threat way far away. And it's stuff that I'm just figuring out. But at the same time, don't start something if you're not willing to finish it. Same way that I could convince my dogs to lay down. Don't start it if you're not willing to finish it. I'm willing to finish it. I'm going to go all the way through day after day after week after month after year after year. And if you're not willing to put in that time and that effort, you're not going to get the results. And I do things differently because when I say I'm going to do it, I get it done. And I don't care how, I don't care how much, I don't care. I get it done. I make it happen. And I'm different with things like that than most. So if you see me doing something and you're just like, oh, you tried and you're not getting anywhere with it, it's because I'm telling you, you're not nowhere near dedicated as I am. And I'm very dedicated. Like I don't know why. I get some stuff done and I enjoy that. That's just my life. But it's something that I want to be able to explain to you how you can find that dedication yourself to want to do more. How you can view things a little bit differently in this life so that you can be able to navigate and be able to dance through this life in such a much simpler way. And if you have a dog that is just super high anxiety, just high, just crazy, chewing up the house, can't leave it for 15 minutes, I'm telling you, I'm saying this right here. I don't know it all, but please take a look inside before you worry about even doing anything with the dog. Because if you start to try to do things to fix the dog without fixing you, you're gonna destroy your relationship with your dog. If you're thinking, I'm just gonna crate it more, I'm gonna give it pressure, I'm gonna correct it, I'm gonna give it treats, you're gonna make it worse. You're gonna keep making it worse because you're giving conflicting understanding to the dog. The dog's not gonna understand that. Take a look inside. And once you start to really just sit down and ponder and think on that, I'm telling you, you're gonna find, literally in weeks, you're gonna find things get better by just looking at your own life and slowing down and doing nothing. Thank you.